Welcome to the WRC podcast. I'm your host, Katrina Marie, and you're in the right place. Here at the Well-Rounded Counselor podcast, what you can expect is to learn, shift your thinking, and gain personal and professional growth. And if you have not yet done so, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another podcast episode. The conversation starts now. What's up, everybody? It's me, Katrina Marie, with the WRC podcast, and today I am coming in hot with a new episode, and we are going to be talking about networking. Networking is something that I feel is a very important topic, and I'm going to kind of walk you through my story of how I was as a networker and how I am today, and how I've learned a lot along the way. So, I don't care what industry you are in. I am going to be very upfront with you. Networking is essential because it is the people you meet along your professional and personal life and career. That person, you never know. Your first impression will always make a lasting impression. And I'm sure you've heard this and you're like, yeah, okay. But I'm serious. So we're going to get into some of my networking tips as a university guidance counselor, but also just as a person and as somebody who works for a company. And I think that this could help you think about how you can expand on your own personal style. And I cannot take all the credit. I've actually learned quite a bit along the way. So we'll get into today's topic. And then I just want to remind you before we get started that I will be launching my very first book. You'll be able to get it as an ebook or a paperback book online. I will be launching this very, very, very soon. The details of when I will be announcing the launch will be forthcoming within the next week or so or less. And yeah, we are excited. I'm excited. And everybody that I've been telling has been quite excited for me. So thank you so much for your kind wishes and words. And again, this book is not meant to be very expensive. It's meant to be very affordable and accessible for counselors and for you to playfully grow and learn and figure out your personal style and how to evolve into this beautiful, well-rounded counselor. And that is the title of the book, The Well-Rounded Counselor: Considerations for International College Counselors. There's also a workbook attached inside. It wouldn't take a lot of effort or a lot of time to fill it out, but it might be worth 30 minutes of your time, maybe at 1 hour, depending on how much you want to write. And it would be really beneficial for you to grow. And I would say the target audience are for people who are kind of new to the profession or looking to change careers, because I know back when I was starting out as a college counselor abroad, I didn't have a community, and I wish I did, and I wish I had somebody mentoring me. So this little ebook or paperback book that you choose to buy could be really helpful for you to grow in your career. So without further ado, let's get into today's topic about networking. Like I said, networking is essential in your role, whether you are a college counselor like myself, or you work in another industry, or you work in education. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Even if you work for yourself, networking is super important because you never know who or how different people that you interact with can impact you and your business or your line of work. So this past couple years, I had a colleague. He has really influenced me in the most incredible ways. I literally have taken so many leaves out of his book and started implementing it in my own fashion. Yes, some things I've kind of carbon copied and said, right, this makes sense. I'm going to do it just how you do it. But then there's some Katrina spin on it. So let me just give you a little background. I used to hate networking. I used to hate going to conferences. When I was in graduate school, I was just like, oh, I don't want to schmooze and talk shop and make small talk with people. I don't really care to like stay connected with them. It just sounded horrific to me. I just did not like this idea. I was so opposed to networking. I was so opposed to going to conferences. It was like the farthest thing I wanted to do. But over the years, I've realized that all the opportunities wouldn't have come to me if I didn't show up, if I didn't make an effort, if I didn't make a good impression, or if I didn't give back in some way, shape, or form. Networking is the key to you progressing. Networking is the key to your next opportunity or your next breakthrough. And although I'm like I always say in all my episodes, I'm not perfect, I'm nobody special. You may have other amazing, brilliant ideas of how you network and how you hustle and you make things happen. This is just the way I do it. This is the way that has worked for me. And I've seen it work for other people that I closely work with. So if you haven't already, I would invite you. Step one is to set up a LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, I would say get on it today after this episode and create an account and start connecting with like minded individuals, people who work for companies that you aspire to work for, HR people, other aspiring professionals, in the same kind of boat as you, because you never know. It doesn't matter their status, whether they are the same level as you or they are a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, it doesn't matter. Whoever you meet and connect with will introduce you to somebody else or will post an opportunity on LinkedIn or will see the activity of the amazing things you're doing. I make an effort every week, multiple times a week, to post on LinkedIn things I'm doing, like this podcast, like my book, just ask questions, create a poll, share exciting achievements, big or small. Post pictures from my recent fly-in, post pictures of meeting people from the Ministry of Education in Georgia. It doesn't matter how big or small it is, but you should post, share, collaborate, seek advice, see what other people are doing. LinkedIn is a brilliant online community and it doesn't require a lot from you, just a little bit of investment of time and getting to know people. One of the things that I've done specifically is I invited to connect with admission counselors from all over the world, all different types of institutions. And then what LinkedIn does is the more active you are on it, just like any social media website, it kind of pushes your stuff to the top. So other people who are affiliated with your connections can see your profile, can see your post. And again, it kind of spreads the awareness of who you are. And the cool thing is, if you have more than 1,000 followers, you get micro influencer status. So again, it boosts up the algorithm where you can be seen a bit more. So networking on LinkedIn, tagging people, commenting on people's posts, interacting, all of that is going to be really helpful. It's going to put your name, your photo, your expertise, your experiences out there where people can see you and you're visual. So become visual, whether it's an online presence or you're sharing the wonderful portfolio of work you've done. Get seen, create a community, whatever that looks like for you. So, yeah, make that LinkedIn profile, number one. Another thing that I've done is because my job, if you haven't figured out, I work a lot with universities. So whenever they do come to my school, I, although my details are on the school profile and all of that, I make a very gallant effort to give them my personal business card as well. Now I know it's an additional thing, but I feel like when they see 5, 6, 7 names on a profile, anything from the principal to the head of department to your colleagues, sometimes that added touch of giving your personal business card can leave a little lasting impression, making a small conversation, connection, asking questions about how their trip is going. Because a lot of these visitors, they're visiting from out of town. And then giving them a little like what we do at my school. I think it's very clever because we know these people are visiting and sometimes it's their first time to the UAE. We give them a bookmark with recommendations of fun things to do around Dubai. And it has our contact details. It has my personal recommendation. Sorry, I don't edit my podcast anymore because I want you to see the truth. Okay, so I give my personal recommendations on it. My colleagues give theirs as well. So it gives our visitors the opportunity to connect with our personality a little bit and also learn something fun about the city and experience the city of Dubai. So that's another fun thing. But connecting with them, giving your personal business card wherever you go is super important. Connecting with different constituents as well, carrying your business card with you wherever you go is important, whether you meet potential families that, it doesn't matter if they're in the same country as you, but you just can give them your card. You never know who's going to connect you with who. Especially if you have a very interesting job, if you can speak very favorably about your job and what you do, and you're very passionate, people will be very drawn and magnetized to you. So carry your business card around with you. Make it a gallant effort to give it out as frequently as possible. Even if that person maybe has visited you before, give it again, because people lose things. And yeah. So the next thing I do is I collect business cards as well. And I add that person on LinkedIn. So these kind of go hand in hand, like giving business cards, collecting business cards, and then using LinkedIn. Um, as a way to connect. And one of the fun things we started doing in my office was taking photographs every time we have university visits. And my colleague is excellent at this. I'm guilty of not following suit, but I will start to get a little bit more excited about it. Um, is posting it on LinkedIn, tagging the person, and creating the buzz of like, we had all these amazing universities and these people and these representatives come. And again, it creates a little bit more of a networking opportunity just by doing that small task online. Because then people are like, well, I want to come visit, and how can I connect? And like they see the value of all of this happening. It creates that social media presence of like, wow, I also want to participate. And it creates more opportunities for you as a professional. It creates more opportunities for your students and also your school community. One of the cool things is just by doing that alone, like we get so many invitations as well by university representatives. So number three, we get invitations to do university fly-ins. We get invitations to do dinners, local dinners. So a representative will come to the UAE and they'll set up a dinner where they can network with other counselors in the community and have a meal or light bites or something, happy hour. And that sometimes happens during the middle of the work week in the evenings. Now I know it's off the clock. I know that it's just one more thing to do and you may not have time, or it's across town, there's going to be traffic, or it's just the day just doesn't work. That's okay. But if there are opportunities for you to go and you feel like it could be worth your while, definitely carve out some time in your week to attend these. I was guilty of definitely not doing these things. I was like, nope, these are my contractual hours. This is when I'm working. I am off at these times. And I don't know what's gotten into me over the last couple years, but I've softened my ways and I started going and I started really having fun and I started making friends, not just like professional colleagues, but you start making friends. And then you start looking forward to that person's visit and you connect with them on a different level. And you never know, maybe in your personal life you take a vacation to another part of the world, and that university rep you can connect with in that location. And or it doesn't have to be a university rep, but maybe you connect with a colleague in a different part of the world, and maybe you eventually go visit on a holiday and they can recommend things for you or connect with you or suggest things for you because you've built that camaraderie. And it's super, super nice. I will be very honest with you. It's super nice to just kind of have that extra layer of knowing somebody when you travel to a new destination. So yeah, attend dinners, luncheons, breakfast, whatever opportunities are coming up. Another opportunity is to attend workshops, local workshops. There's countless workshops happening here in the UAE at different institutions with other counselors, with higher education professionals, um, with just different types of people, different constituents that might be related to what you do. And if your administration approves for you to go and leave work, I would encourage you to do so. Don't just sit on the sideline and let opportunities pass you by. Again, we all have very busy periods of of work throughout the year, so I get it. But if you can manage yourself, self-manage your work to get things done before you go, or you carve out time when you come back, even if it's just like a morning session from 9 to 1, try to go and try to again network, pass out your card, introduce yourself, say what school you work at, or say what your position is, or what you do. And the more you show up, the more people are going to say, oh, that's so and so, I know her or him from XYZ. And you build a reputation and you can position yourself and leverage yourself. from many of these opportunities, I've been asked to be a panelist, a guest speaker, presenter for different things over the years. And like I said, I'm not anybody particularly special. I do feel like there's so many people out there that have way more wisdom than what I can offer. But I believe that it's my personality, it's my experiences, it's me showing up for myself, it's me showing up to represent where I work, who I am, what I believe in, to be afforded these opportunities. Like I said, I'm not trying to monetize off of these things. This is just collaboration, this is discussion, this is growth, this is all of the above. So, these are opportunities for you to connect as well by local workshops. So, there you have it. Here are just some easy tips that you can implement and basically build and position yourself to be a very well-respected professional in your field. Now, I know my examples are tailored specifically to what I do, but you can take bits of it away, whether it's just creating a LinkedIn profile or just going to networking dinners and events um, in your personal or your work time, and do that for yourself and really invest that time, because I believe wholeheartedly that the opportunities that have come to me have been because I've put myself out there. I didn't just stand behind and let everybody else take those opportunities. I could have easily done that. And it took a lot of courage. It took confidence. It took building the confidence to really say, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to make the effort. I'm going to go. And I'm so forever grateful to this colleague of mine who has shared many opportunities to network, to show up a little bit better than I have in the past, and really set a precedence and a good standard for myself. Now, am I gonna, benefit from these connections? Possibly in the future. I wouldn't doubt it. So because I have a strong presence on LinkedIn, I, invite people to be on the podcast. So you might hear guest speakers that might follow my work or follow the things I'm doing, and they believe in what I'm doing and they want to be a part of my mission. They want to be a part of what I'm doing because they believe in it too. So again, networking and the power of collaboration, the power of discussion, the power of challenging each other to bring brilliant conversation, that's all important. And I encourage you to start today to rethink how you're networking and how you're building your community wherever you live. And for me, I'm not settling for just where I live. I'm settling for an international context because that's what I do. I work with people internationally. So position yourself to have unique skills, position yourself to be a networker, to say, oh yeah, I know that girl Katrina, she works at XYZ school, she's in Dubai, I know her. You want to be memorable in a positive way. So if you take anything away from that, your presence of who you are is powerful. So thank you so much for today, for listening, for connecting with me. And if you feel like this episode has inspired you to take some inspired action, please share with me. Let me know. Find me on LinkedIn, or write to me. I'll leave all my details in the show notes. So I'd love to connect with you further and, like I said, network with you. So uh, please let me know how this has helped you, and please share it with a loved one if you feel like it can benefit them. And in the meantime, take care of yourself and have a blessed day. Did you love the episode? I hope you're feeling inspired and no longer feeling alone out there, and you're ready to evolve and become a better person. Make sure that you share this podcast or take a screenshot and post it on your social media. That's how you help spread this podcast organically, and people can find it much easier when you share, or share it with a loved one. I'm your host, Katrina Marie, and make it your mission to be a blessing in someone else's life today.